Howdy my friends and welcome. I have something very special right here you can see with this lovely box. So Cornelius from Nemesis Games reached out to me, and what's in here is a deluxe version of the game Uprising, which has been out for a while. But there is coming soon, I believe this fall, going to be an expansion, a solo expansion that we're going to see on crowdfunding. But in order to be able to learn how to play that and share it with you, of course I need to learn the base game. I don't like doing a lot of unboxings on this channel. You've seen a few lately, but that's because they've been these deluxe games, and I think they're quite enjoyable to open, and I want you to enjoy that with me. So we're going to take this to the table, we're going to cut her open and see what's inside. Come with me. What treasures lie beneath? Let's find out, shall we? Oh, Bubbles, you know what we gotta do. Are you ready? Oh, 3. How many times? 10 times? This could go. Come on. I'm squishing your head. I'm squishing it. All right. Here we go. I don't know if you all ever did that. Oh, look at this. Okay. We're to enjoy this. Uprising Deluxe Components. We will be opening that up, but let's take a look. I know nothing about this game. Looks like we've got a lovely owl here, some lightning coming out of his eyes, and some explorers going deep into, well, they're outside actually, so these are like some ruins like Stonehenge, and a very strange skeleton creature watching them from the distance at night. Pretty cool. All right, and this is from Nemesis Games, and we've got ourselves this lovely dice tray. It looks velvety. You know what? I'm going to take it out right now. Oh, this is an Uprising dice tray. Game from Nemesis Games. Come out, my darling. Come out. There we go. Okay, lovely. We've got like a elephant style with the tusks here. Smooth velvety leather on the back. Name of the game. You flip it up and push the buttons in. I see. This little brain of mine took a moment to figure it out, but look at that. Lovely. And then, of course, the game itself. So let's get this big box out of the way. Oh my. Oh, pop, pop, pop. Is that the bottom? The bottom of the barrel. All right. To the graveyard with you. All right, let's start with this small box. Even though it is the deluxe components, I almost just cut my face fixing my microphone. Don't try to adjust your microphone while thrusting a serrated knife up toward your chin. Life lessons. All right, here we go. I need to get myself a letter opener. Come on. All right, time to go raccoon style. All right, what lies inside? First, we're going to look at the inside. Okay, just our plain cover. Looks like there's a sun right there. I don't know if there's any other. There's a skull on that side. Oh, lovely. Look at this. It's a nice shiny, I wouldn't say velvety, but good quality. Look at that. Quite special. Now, of course, the hard part is getting the plastic off. There we go. Okay, so there's the inside. We're good. Let's pop our top off here. Must be a first player token, maybe. The capital marker, the chapter tracker. Metal coins, y'all. Oh, did I wash my hands? Look at how nice those nails are. I rip them off myself. Here we go. Oh no! We lost a coin. Beautiful. Just look at that. And what have we here? Omen of the Void, the Empire Arceus, Lesser Omen of the Harvester, Dracolish. Are these different? It looks like they're two-sided. So we've got the Lear. Oh, it's a different language. Okay, so we've got German and English. Cool. The Greater Omen of the Empress, a number 4. Every player may draw 1 feat. The Empire gains 1 gem per drawn feat. Okay, we'll find out what these are when we're playing. Maybe like a special ability per character. And maybe this is, ooh, metal. Look at this. Nice and heavy. This is the first player token, I guarantee it. All right, and our poker chip tokens with different art and numbers on each one. The same on both sides, it looks like. We'll find out what these are for, but just look at that. Is it acrylic? Is it plastic? I can't tell the difference. I think it's plastic, but sometimes acrylic and plastic feel the same to me. It is heavy and thick. We'll say acrylic. And I'm just going to guess that these are forms of income or player pieces. We've got our 3s. So these must be like crystals as far as currency. That's my guess. Again, I'm going in blind. I haven't played yet. Singular elephants currency. Nice little wooden pieces. All right, and our 3 elephants. So we're going to be doing crystals and elephants or movement. And I'm going to say these are going to be materials, these red stones. Again, we'll find out for sure, but here's our singular wooden red stones right here. And it looks like our number 3 red stones. It reminds me of Cubert. All y'all old folk like me remember Cubert. Lovely. Closes up nicely. Deluxe resource. Good night, little one. All right, so let's take a look at this before we open it up here. Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. Maybe that's the last emperor up there. I don't know. So we've got what must be our bad guy back there shooting out like lasers or fires. And maybe the different clan leaders that are going against each other. There's definitely an okay, so these are uprising against this great emperor. So are these the baddies working for the big bad? Because he looks kind of bad, but maybe he's not. Looks can be deceiving. We've got this guy with this fire crystal arm, an elven looking guy. There's our elephants in the background. And of course we got some hair here, almost like bones. And we got our wise old man. We see that hourglass shape quite a bit. And who is this silver-faced warrior with some kind of a device in his hand? We've got our samurai right over here. And then of course just our common folk. Let's take a look at the sides. We've got a skull, a title, and we've got our sun, just like the other box. Well, it looks actually like a moon and a sun, a moon around a sun. And look at this artwork on the back. So this must be a leader of the uprising. Make sure you get all that in there. Somebody with like a bone goat type mask and a scythe type of thing, holding this up against the sunset, and the commoners looking to them like, should we actually join in? We'll find out. This is the second printing. I see that. Ages 14 up. All right, let's get this plastic off. Careful skill of a surgeon. Nurse Tamantha. Scalpel. Careful. Careful. Oh my goodness. A little bit of trauma on that incision. Nothing that plastics can't repair, though. Plastics fixes all my mistakes. Thank goodness I have good insurance. Oh my goodness, I'd be buried under the water. There we go. Okay, come on. Hey, Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. What lies inside? Something that just flew onto the floor. Probably a car. Nope, just a safety warning. Don't eat it. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to punch these out, but we've got our, looks like our locations that will make up our board. Like we've got the Omayado prison. The line between reality and madness began to blur in the Omayado prison. Each has different like abilities. So maybe when you land here, gain 3 elephants, place 1 legion in its target here and only here. Looks like there are different resources. So 1 of each of these resources. And is that a dragon or a tree? 1 crystal. Or 1 gem. Interesting. Okay. And we have the deluxe components of these, so we'll punch it out, but we don't need those. And, oh, I see. So it starts out unexplored, so we'll move around the map. Oh, that's cool. I love exploration. Unexplored sea tower, and then we flip it over, and it'll be the midnight tower. Well, how cool is that? And then do we gain a resource, or do we have to spend it? We'll find out. I'm actually going to get a teach directly from the designer on what is it? Not Tabletopia, but you know the other one. TTS, Tabletop Simulator. Look at all these. Okay. Frosthold Pass, so we've got green ones. Dunkelholm. Fjolja Stone Circle looks quite lovely. Look at that. Uprising in the capital. Oh boy. Uprising in the capital. All right, we got more blues around here. Black Ice, Toro Caravan, Grim Fangs, and it looks like we've got mountains as a resource down here. Okay, some more unexplored sea towers. Oh, and look at this. We've got this greenish color, the Riga and the Fernhala, drowning the ruins of the ancients, grave of robbers, the swamp of Fernhala. It's going to be cool learning all these places. Oh, are these like character start? These are these starting camps for the clan or base that you play as? So we got the scary orc-like folk here, our elven folk, our human stone-faced. They're like stone people, and they're a little more like your human samurai people. Well, how cool. Winter, yeah, I'll bet you that's the bases you start at. And that makes sense. So we have, so it isn't a build-a-board. There is actually a board underneath it. I can't zoom out quite big enough to get it all in one shot, but let me show you over here. So we've got skeletons and garrisons, a place to put the druids, and it looks like we have some guidance as to what to put where. The screaming sea, the howling wight. Okay. The fog grave in the top white. Interesting. So it looks like 3 different sections, and then we've got some help down here for terrain, and we've got some information here as well. Skeletons and garrisons. I think it says the same on both, so you can read it no matter which side, of course, with the victory track running on the outside. All right. I like having a board. And I do believe actually a deluxe mat is coming in, so that's going to be pretty sweet to share with you. All right, Chaos Graveyard, the Hordes deck. Place your destroyed units here. Okay. So, oh my goodness, this is like a player mat? What? Imperial Graveyard and Chaos Graveyard. And look at that artwork. Look at the elephants riding along in the moonlight. Oh my goodness, look at that black and white artwork. I hope you're seeing that. Okay, so we got our samurai folk. Interesting. So what's this? It's not a player board. That's just the Empire's board. Wow. Okay, Empires and Hordes. This is fascinating. Okay. Chapter track. All right, so we've got our... So we play in chapters, and this is our guide with how to proceed forward. We're going to have a refresh phase, of course, resetting everything, and then we're going to have our event plays where the horde comes in, and then the build phase, we get to do stuff, or we get to prepare, and then our actions. I'll bet that's the meat of the game. It says see your player board. I'm always trying to, it's hard for me to see in the camera there. There we go. I need to find a way to hook this up to my laptop so I can actually watch and see what you're going to see. Then the Nemesis phase, oh boy. Now we gain our production. So a little like the Great Wall, it's sounding like, and then production phase, and then a scoring phase. I wonder if that's just at the end of the game, but I don't think so. Okay, and it looks like we're going to go through decks of chapters. Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 chapters in the game. It looks like we have a market right down here. Okay, pretty cool. Our market deck. We're going to have quests. Oh my goodness. And 3 active quests at a time, or up to 3. A quest discard. I can kind of see how the game's going to run, and I am kind of excited. Pretty sweet. Now, are these are player aids. Look at that, too. Nice. Of course, this is a deluxe version, so nice, good quality. And this tells us what we're going to do in our combat. Before combat, archery round, clash, repeat after combat. Interesting. So we follow the arrows. I see. We follow the arrows, or before combat and then archery round, we might come down here. Okay. All right, so we got a flow chart, and then placing and activation rules. Sweet. It almost seems like, is this cooperative against a common opponent? I don't think so, but we'll see. Look at this. Look at this. This is a cool little rule book. We got a spiral binder. Thank you for not making it the same square size as the box. This is manageable. This is good quality paper. It's on a ring binder, so we can flip through no problem. Look at some of this art here, setup. All that fire in the background. Okay, so we've got a setup for, I see, a different setup for however many factions are playing. For a solo game, you can play any number of factions. So the solo stuff is going to be coming out. I've got a solo event deck to share with you. Oh my goodness, this is cool. Difficulty settings. All right, we go into our concepts, heroes and dice, feats and items, hexes and regions, and then we learn about our phases. Okay, and it looks like we've got our little cheat on the right, our actions phase, of course. Some command example. Look at this elephant. Explore example. All right. Havens. We're going to learn about the markets, our quests, the nemesis phase. Oh, look at this right here. Look at that lovely tower. Our production phase, scoring and winning the game, combat, and our elephant. I hope he's okay. I sure hope he's okay. And our cards in combat. There's our flow chart, our examples, so we know what to do, our druids, our combat abilities. Oh my goodness, look at the walls and towers. Do we have walls and towers? Terrain types, the graveyard. Look at this. Just the lighting. Lovely, lovely artwork there. And the nemesis. Is the nemesis our solo enemy? And while the mortals were captivated with themselves, dark storm clouds rose on the horizon. Your enemies in the game are Chaos and the Empire, collectively called the Nemesis. Those two factions are controlled by the players and the game itself. They're enemies of each other as well. This is going to be quite the thing. What? We do build a garrison. The Empire. Legions retarget. Okay. Chaos, skeletons becoming horde. This seems like more of an exploratory narrative Great Wall, where Great Wall leaned more towards Euro. This might be leaning, I know there's different games, but there's always commonalities I like to find. Okay, hints for your first games. Overlooked rules, a thank you, and our index and icons glossary. Cool. More tokens we're going to pop out here. Looks like a horn of a sort and Kyushi's Tavern. Maybe this is special. Our little discs here, our little skull icons. Are these player boards? These are the player boards. And they are going to be different for each one. Okay, so on our player board we can see we're going to have our different units of warriors. Our tower defenses, our wall defensive, our havens are going to stack here, kind of like Scythe, I'll bet you, where you start with them here and then you remove it, or maybe it's the other way and you place it. A guide for our actions, how to trade, so everything we need to know, and then on the other side, the story that belongs to our faction. The Moihar are fallen invaders, as well as details on their way of life. We've got here the Crow, our forgotten guardians. Okay, so they're scary looking, but they're gentle. They're riders and herders, where these are actually raiders and slavers. Oh dear, so these are, I like these guys. And then the Dwerkhar are unbending Highlanders. They are hunters and gatherers. And finally, we've got the Druin, nebulous wanderers. These are nomads and traders. Okay, and it looks like, woo, we got some nice organization. All of our player pieces in one. So we've got, these look like they are acrylic to me. I'm only going to pull out one. So you can, yeah, oh, they feel like it anyway. They're a little thinner, so they must be standees. We must have little stands for these. Pretty cool, and it's going to be different art for each clan. So I might want you to see each one of those. Look at that right there. And our named heroes even. We've got Bayranth, we've got Yanni, I see, and then we've got our stands. So our larger ones are going to go in here like this, and we can stand up on the board. I like this. Okay, all our different smaller stands. And I'm just going to leave it like that, actually. I'll tell you what, I'm going to move the box to the side now so we can focus one at a time on these. All right, we've got our standees, which you can always keep in the bag. I don't see any need to. And let's just take a look at a few of these. We've got Rona right here, and we've got Hanzo with the hat running through, pretty cool. And our warriors, and it looks like they get just a little small. They're all different. That's really fascinating. Our axe thrower and the little resource that belongs to them. We'll probably find the feat cards as we go through these boxes. And our next clan, let's see, we've got just some of these. We've got Feanor, and we've got Syndra floating in the air. Look at you, Syndra. And some archers, it looks like, with a purple resource. And we've also got some, look at that swordsman with those flames. Beautiful. One of the things I appreciate so much about board games is, I think, just the art of it. I love the gameplay, but I love remembering to savor all of this art as I dump it out into the components box like that. Really? Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, we got some big boys. Scary. Okay. Dugpa. And L. No, it's Kyle. Okay, I almost sounded like Wonder Woman there. Okay, we've got dogs. Yes, ogres. These are nice folk, though. They're good, nice folk. And it looks like we've got some archers. And then we've got some swordsmen. So it must be, those are your units, like your archer units, swordman units, riders, mounted units, and then, of course, our leaders. That's our 4 factions. Let's see what other treasures we have. So we have our resource box. We're going to put our deluxe resources into... Oh, no, these are for the cardboard resources. Okay, we have the other resource box, so we don't need it, but we'll put those in there when we punch them out. And I know there's some clutter, but let's take a look at this right here. Got some nice plastic pieces. Right. Oh, what are these? These must be our towers of different colors. Same shape, nice solid plastic. All right there. Now that also says resource box. I don't think the towers are resources. I think they will actually go with the player clans, because it looks like they go on your player board. I was not expecting this volume of nice components. Look at this. So we've got our space for our small cards, and then when we punch out our hexes, they're going to go in there. Our small cards are going to probably split into these, and we've got resources here. I'll bet you that these are going to go into our resource tray, maybe. I'm not. And then we've got our dice. Okay, we've got our large cards. Let's see where these belong, because we also have more faction components. Let's see what goes where. I'm almost going to guarantee you that these are victory point markers for each of the factions, and maybe, no, they won't go in the player boxes because you've got the nemesis ones out as well. So we'll leave them in the bag for now. Oh, look at this. They tell us where things go. Dice go right there. Thank you. I love that. So let's look at the dice. Dice right here. Oh my goodness, and so many dice. Wow. Are they all going to fit in there? We're going to find out, Gravy Davis, but we've got the different colors, so you must have some for each faction, and maybe neutral or nemesis dice as well. We've got shields, skulls, lightning, different symbols on different dice. The black ones look maybe it's a bad thing to get the skulls. The white ones look like there's some misses. I wonder if that's good or bad. I guess it depends on what you're doing. But I like that there's a slant to this, because that means you can get the dice out, where when they make these square, then you're not able to get the dice out quite as easily. I'm going to dump them all in there, and if it doesn't fit, then maybe we'll overflow into there if we need to, but for now, that's fine. All right, and we've got more guides here, threat trackers, and that says activation tokens, targets, and walls and towers. Okay, let's see these. I don't know what walls and towers are yet, but I think these are walls. Look at those, so nice little plastic walls like crowns. We're going to put you in here. Oh, I see. These are the Nemesis factions. Okay, that's why they're separate and don't have their own container. Ooh! Cool, so we've got the Mage Breaker, the Courtesan, we've got the Spy Master, the Executioner, the Imperial Guard, the Emperor, the Warlock, and the Assassin. Okay, because that's how we say it, right? Absolutely. Okay, curses, skeletons, and hordes. I don't entirely know what all of those are. I think those are those hordes? I don't know. But I want to show you some of these. These almost look like they are towers. Oh, these are plastic. These are nice and thick, do they? Okay, so these are like the top or a base of a tower or a garrison or a wall. But regardless, I'm just going to put all the pink in here for right now until I learn what everything is by actually looking in our rulebook. What a beautiful top to that tower. Look at that. Look at that detail. Beautiful work. Oh my goodness. I did not know I was getting this little treasure at all. Okay, so we've got this. These nice caps on top as well. So do we have different tops to the tower, different options? All right, then we've got garrisons and legions. Now that doesn't mean that these are garrisons and legions, but maybe. I think these are garrisons. That's what I think. Okay, we've got the Banished, the Lich Queen, Coven of Isat, the Counter of Omens, Oda, the Fallen, the False Messiah, the Seren, the Blood, or however you want to pronounce it, you know? Have some fun with it. It's okay. I will definitely go through the rule book because I want these to be organized just as they're supposed to be. The Tentacle of Trent. Looks the same on both sides. Okay, Tentacle of Trent. And then Scary Man. He wants a hug, but don't trust him. All right, and it looks like we've got some towers here as well. Just look at those nice plastic towers. I'm going to put you in there because you're brown. And our stands. Okay, now this is interesting. I'm a little frightened almost. What goes here? We've got like a tentacle. So these must be chaos thingies that come after you, or clips. They almost look like clips and counters. They look like counters to me. These are threat trackers. They're threat trackers. They're gonna slide on the edge of something and slide up to track the threat. Now I don't know if these belong here, but we've got these red gems right here, and they're all gonna go in there for now. And we're gonna close you nicely. How beautiful. Which brings us to our last two bits, whoops, in this box here. We've got our items and we've got our deck right here. Event deck, character deck. I do have the solo deck, but it is not ready for me to show you yet. That's a surprise coming later when I review the game. Okay, now there's so much art to go through here. I don't know if I should take you through every one, but Pickle Boo, oh, and Mr. Booty Boo, and he's sitting in his chair talking to some angry customers down there. And this lady, she's really wanting to the front of the line, but she's stuck behind all those angry customers. And he's behind her, and he's like, "Watch your back, woman." And he's like, "Whoa, lady, there's a creepy man behind you." And then he's like, "Ha, ha, ha." And he swaps them all away. That's right. And lets her come flying through to the front of the line like the ninja she is. But wait! No, he comes to swoop in because he's been waiting for longer and he really wants that latte first. But then the police came in with a scroll that had a contract. See, they're right there because the police are actually children and they deliver decrees by playing the flute and let them know, hey, you're all under arrest. And this guy takes them all to the prison. And at the prison, they go before their king and they beg, "Please, sir, have mercy. We just wanted a latte." And then they die. And it's very sad. And we switch to a completely different story with a goat and a man in a mask. And they are best friends. They are best buddies. And this guy's like, he's just laughing behind a corner. And nobody really knows why. And then there's this one, though. He comes at the two buddies to throw some fire at them. And then here's another guy going, laughing in a corner, being super weird. And this woman is like, "Halt! Halt! You are facing a fire-breathing dragon, but you got two creepers behind you that even I, a blind woman, can see." So, there's that. And he's like, "No, I'm so embarrassed." And then he's like, "Haha, gotcha." All right. And we go to our next story, our samurai hero. And he's like, "My bro. That's my bro." And he's like, come at me, bro. And he's like, sizzle down, boys. Okay. Then we've got our characters. We've got Feanor the Archon, Beranth the Wall, Hansa the Traitor. And it looks like we've got here these must be for the Nemesis. Yeah, these are the cards for the Nemesis characters that we saw. The Bloodworm, the Siren, the Banished, the False Messiah. Look at the lovely art. I just want you to appreciate the art. The Courtesan, look at that. Now that's, oh my goodness. The colors, that's beautiful. Scare me. I like the Spy Master, okay. The Assassin, okay. Imperial Guard, be my dad. Scare me. Also terrifying. And the new emperor, well, that can't be good. That's always a bad idea. Don't ever do that. That's always a bad idea. Break the shackles. I agree with that. Cleanse the wastes. I love a clean planet. They're scary. Deepling allies. Sure. Druids sacrifice as long as it's vegetables. Okay, and oh, that's a person. Okay, expedition to the mainland. Let's go on an adventure. Stay away from that one. Maybe they'll be cuddly. I don't know. Maybe they'll swat you. The hungry giant is actually a dude with a heart of gold. Lots of heart. The Imperial Inquisition, always a bad thing. Imperial spy, also always a bad thing. Instruction of the Druids. Listen to wisdom, my son. Intercept the Empress's caravan. Well, maybe think twice about that. Koloth Migration, oh, that's adorable. Mad Croat Shump Scary, Nethersea Navigators, best friends. Ramparts, looks like a party that day. The Rebel Council, they look angry. Release the Kraken or don't. Think about it. Strike at dawn, sounds like a good diet, or have coffee. The Thieves Guild. Oh boy, watch out for that one. Okay, Tuathon allies. I like you a lot. Willing to fight because they have courage. And then, of course, we've got our player cards here to help us out. We actually made it through all those. Well, thank you for staying with me. And it looks like there are 2 sections. So maybe oh, look at the backs. I see. These are let me show you this. Okay, so we've got event chapters for chapter 1, chapter 2, and different art for each one. Look at that boat art for chapter 3. Beautiful. Okay, and then our chapter 4 art all the way. Okay, and then our main character cards, and then our Chaos Horde cards that we looked at. Got it. And then our Imperial Legion cards. Okay, now I know what we were looking at. Look at me doing everything backwards. Imperial Legion. And our cheat cards and our quest cards. Look at that, and they all fit. All right, last thing we got to look at, y'all, other than the final putting the box together, which I'll just show you when I'm done, is our small cards. All right, so I've kind of divided them up. So we've got the Druid deck here, and it looks like the Deep Dweller. So there's a little bit of text on what each one does and some icons. And same, we've got Feanor the Archon. So we've got our leader decks, and the same thing where you have maybe some art, but some text and a label on the side for what it is and what it does. And that for each one, you've got Syndra, of course, same thing. These, I can only guess, are the feat cards that are going to go F-E-A-T, not F-E-E-T, you silly fool. All right, so I assume these are their feat cards. Then, of course, we've got Beranth, the Wall, Ronya, the Wanderer, Hanzo, the Traitor. That's a rough reputation to have. And Kaal, the Destroyer. Yep, he's scary. And then Dugpa. Hello, Dugpa. All right, then we've got, of course, our item deck. And we won't go through every item, but we can see like a bad warrant. And we've got a picture clash. Discard this to gain 1 red cube before rolling on your hero's hex. All right, so each of these are going to have special abilities. You can see just some of the art there. Some pots, some archery. Looks like a lamp and some dice, helmets, lights, fruits. I always say I'm not going to look through, and then I get into the art, and I'm like, oh, I want you to see this just like I see it, and I thank you for that. But don't worry, I make Oh, hello, kitty. And, oh, my cologne. I need that. Oh, my goodness. Deodorant. Okay. Here we go. Headband. I love it. Orbs, leviathans, a scary mask, and a dude's face, a compass, interesting compass, maps, metal orb, don't get whacked by that, little runes, and our lizard man, our brave friend, we do love him. That's a lovely red against that sky. Archery and okay, and we've got, so they're almost all different. There might have been a repeat. I don't know. Yeah, there's a few repeats. These Shearit Leaves and Zoya Bard. All right, let me pop out all the cardboard, put everything together. I'll be right back. Ta-da! All right, y'all. I finished punching everything. So, of course, I don't know that I have everything exactly. I'll know once I get my first play in, but I am guessing that these, do they fit right? Well, they sure do. But, actually, they're a little big right there, so maybe not. But what I do know is that this goes on top. I'm not sure that that's exactly what goes there, but it works just fine. And then we've got our resource box. And our resource box, and of course we have the deluxe components, so we don't need to use that, but I still keep them. And it looks like they made it nicely, so if you're playing at different ends of the table, each one of you can have your own box. And then we've got our corners up here for each of the player factions, and again, maybe I didn't put everything in there right, but it seemed pretty intuitive. So for now, there we go. You can of course put it in plastic bags, but there's no need to. Now let's see, what is smaller? So that can definitely go there, but I'll bet you, there we go. Those go first, and then I'll bet you this, and look at that. Oh my goodness, beautiful. And then the games and our two boards. Let's get that box lid. Don't you make that box fart. Don't you do it.